Hello everybody. Today we'll talk about prefetching in Nextjs. Why is it helpful and how we can do it? Then we'll see an advanced technique uh, where we will see how we can prefetch many pages on the initial page load that are not related to the page that we are loading right now. So what is prefetching? So prefetching, the idea of prefetching is, let's say you are visiting a website. Let's say this is the website you are going to visit. And if you notice or hover over this button, you will see there is a link that appears at the bottom. And if you click here, the page then navigates to that link, or the website navigates to that link. But if you imagine that the whole purpose of this whole hero section is for the users, we want to encourage the users to click on this button, right? So after they click, or if we only start loading the next page after they are clicking, it kind of is not efficient. What if whenever the page is loaded, this button, the destination button page, is already loaded for you? You don't have to do anything. If you click here, the page comes up instantly. If you could do that, that would be a wonderful thing, right? So that is basically the whole concept of prefetching. You can specify in a Next.js link component. So in fact, if I visit the documentation in the Next.js website, here we are talking about the link component, which you should use in your Next.js app. Here you can see there is a prop called prefetch, and by default this is false, which means, let's say I have wrapped this button in a link, but the prefetch is by default false. So that's why when you are clicking, every time the page is loading from scratch. But if we define prefetch as true, then this particular page will be loaded in the background, and we can basically just go in there and visit the page. So just to demonstrate how that feels, this is the unoptimized version, which you have already seen, and this is the pre-fetched version. So if I come here, remember this is already pre-fetched. So this page, or the destination page, is actually already loaded in the background. If I click here, it's almost instant. You see the difference? If I come here, I click here, the page loads almost instantly. Compared to the optimized version, I click and I wait and wait, the page loads and then gets generated for me. So you can clearly see the difference in these two versions, and you can understand why prefetching is important. Now, let's talk about another technique, another advanced technique that we can use. So in this particular website, there are some pages where we want to drive our users. For example, if you notice, this is one of those pages. And this page is actually linked in many different places. For example, this button takes us to that particular listing page. Uh, this button also takes us to the same listing page. If you come here, this button takes us to the same listing page as well. Now, adding prefetch to all of these individual places is kind of not efficient. So there is a better way of doing it. Let's say we have 5 pages in the whole website that are very, very important for us, and we always want them ready to go. We always want them to be loaded, no matter where you land. Maybe you landed on this home page, or maybe you have landed on the blog, or wherever you land, we want to generate that particular page always in the background. And that is what we can see actually what's going on in the background currently, which is not visible to you. So let me just show you. If I reload the page, do you see that we are making some extra calls here? Let me show the home page. Okay, so we have loaded the home page, but notice we have made some additional requests as well. So these are basically those background prefetch calls, and we have logged them out here as well. If I log them out, you will see that we have started prefetching this path, finished prefetching this path. I've logged it out so that you can see. So this is where the magic is happening in the background. I'll show you how we are doing it. So just to recap, prefetching is important. The first way to do it is passing the prefetch true prop here. And the second way to do for multiple URLs. So if you want to do it for many links at the same time, Now I'm going to show you what that looks like. So here is one component. Let me zoom in a bit. A very simple component. We're importing the router inside the use effect. Let's say I have an array of paths that I want to prefetch. So let's say these are the paths that I want to prefetch. I'm going over each of these paths and I'm just making parallel request calls to get all of those pages in the background. So no matter where the user lands in the whole website, this particular component will always get triggered and prefetch these calls. I'll link in the description the article that I wrote on this one, where you can see the code. But the basic idea is pretty simple. We're just using the next router and we are calling router dot. Where is that? Right. So router dot prefetch. Okay, that's simple. Now this is the component, but we have to add it somewhere. Now, what is the best place to add if we want to do site-wide? That is actually app.tsx if you're using pages router. So inside the pages router, I have just included the prefetch static paths component and it is already downloading all of the pages in the background. So when you are visiting any page, that particular pages are already ready to go for it. So you just click and it almost feels like a native navigation. That's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. So this is an effort where I'm trying to optimize the user's experience in our particular website, this website basically. And prefetching the links was one of the things that we used, and we used improve the performance from 17 to like 60 or 62. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.